clock or my watch? Good afternoon. We're calling the Health and Social Services Committee to order. I have a draft of the last minutes from the last meeting. Must have been in September. So I'd like to accept a motion to, I'd like for a motion to accept the minutes, please.
So moved.
The minutes have been moved and seconded. All in favor? Okay. We have two items for the meeting today. The first one is item number 8, as offered by the mayor, and is a resolution establishing October the 20th through the 26th, 2019 as Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, and encouraging Akron parents and grandparents who care for children under the age of 6 to ensure a lead-safe environment and participate in the lead prevention programs the City of Akron provides, and declaring an emergency. So, Mr. Tatum, you're going to address this?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thomas Tatum with the Department of Neighborhood Assistance, Housing Community Services. Each year we are identified to promote Lead Poison Prevention Week. City of Akron alone, we have received a number of competitive grants since 2009. As you might have read, we just received our fourth lead grant recently for $4.6 million that will be utilized for Akron properties for the remediation of lead in the homes. Approximately, there are a number of homes in Akron that still have lead-based paint in them, somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 to 5,000. We start negotiations with HUD next week, but it just so happened that we received the award announcement along with the promotion of Lead Safe Week. And Mr. Taylor is also here to address any questions you might have.
So this is a $1.6 million more than what we normally get, or this is typical? I thought we always got like $3 million or something.
Yes, in normal circumstances, it's normally around 3.5, 3.6, 3.7 million.
Okay.
This is our fourth one, and there will be 4.6 million. Of that, there's approximately 600,000 in what they call healthy homes money. So anything that can't be done in a home that doesn't attribute to lead or have lead problems, but we do know it's a problem, say like electrical, plumbing, anything like that, can be utilized in the home to address those needs.
Okay. Are there questions from committee members? Go ahead. Mrs. Councilwoman Sands.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So in order to utilize the Healthy Home dollars, you have to have applied for the lead removal? Or can you access that outside of that?
No. In the past, there used to be a Healthy Homes grant by itself. However, over the years, HUD has identified, marry those funds because you're in the home, you're already identifying problems with lead. Healthy Homes identifies 29 potential problems with dealing with the health, safety, and welfare of the people in the home. So they just marry those two, in just those two packages.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, Mr. Milkovich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sir, do you think that we'll ever come to a point that we'll be totally lead-free? Now, when they abate some of these homes, especially the paint, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the process is of just sealing it with the sealer or a paint. Or
are you talking about encapsulation?
Right, encapsulation, sir. And how long is that encapsulated when you put that, whatever you use to cover it up? Is it going to come back in the future, or?
I'll let Captain Lead, the lead technician, handle that.
Let's see, is it working? All right. You can actually do what they call interim controls, and you can use lead abatement. Anything that's lead abatement replacement is considered a 20-year or better solution. But we are allowed to also use interim controls. That would be a paint stabilization. We try to use that a little less. We try to abate as much as possible. Obviously, the best way to remove it is to remove it and replace the component. But sometimes the money doesn't permit, so we sometimes have to do an encapsulation. But usually on the big components, siding, windows, doors, porches, those are your big ticket items. Those are usually where we do the component replacement or siding over top, which we encapsulate that in, enclose it actually, an encapsulant, that's an enclosure, where that's a 20-year solution. But things like bedroom walls or maybe some baseboards or something on that order, sometimes we do the paint stabilization. At the end of the job, we give to everyone what we call an ongoing maintenance plan. So what they'll do is they'll use that plan. They can contact us back. We'll come back and re-inspect it for them and let them know if there is a hazard. Also do some retesting for them, give them advice on how to handle something should what we did there fail and present another lead hazard. Okay? Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Just a comment. I want to thank you. You folks do a phenomenal job, and it's all about information and getting that information out to the public. We are an older city with the older homes, and you know, when we found out there was a problem, we addressed it. And a lot of our homes still, you know, some of them still have like the lead pipes, and we found that as a hazard. And I want to thank you and commend you for what you do.
Could I touch, you also asked a question, if I may. You also asked the question, will we ever get rid of the lead paint in the homes, okay? Just kind of give you an idea, there's 96,000 housing units in the city of Akron. We've received 10 grants between the health department and our department. This is our fourth one since then. If we, and I'm not sure how many the health department did, but let's say we stay very close to where we were at 250. Last grant was 290, one before was 235. So we'll say a 250 average. 10 grants, 250, that's only 2,500 homes out of 96,000 homes that were there, when 85% of them were built before 1978. So are we going to eventually, hopefully, but probably not in my tenure here at the city, okay?
So you're saying there are 96,000 homes in Akron in general?
Yes, housing units.
But we don't know how many were built?
85% of those homes were built prior to 1978. 75 were built before 1970. So when you get, the older you get in the homes, the higher percentage that there's going to be a lead-based paint hazard there. Okay. Also that the vast majority of people children are poisoned from the lead dust and the lead paint that's in the home. That is a major way of children getting lead poisoned. Okay, and there's over 500,000 per year. I think, hold on a second, I can tell you how many in 4,500, over 4,500 in our general area.
Okay. I'm assuming that this is going to be a big, major campaign. I see that you have a number of languages that all the flyers and other posters and things will be in various languages. Arabic, Chinese, you name it, which is fantastic because we do have a large immigrant population. Will this be on the buses and billboards and all of that?
We're going to try to. We're going to see how it goes. Right now, currently, we have over 100 applications that are waiting from the last grant.
Okay.
So we're going to try to address those 100 right off the bat. We've committed for 250, although we haven't hit negotiations yet. They may ask us for some more. But we obligated for 250 units for this grant. We'll start with the 100 that we have, and then we'll start. We're going to start off early and doing a lot of outreach. That will be reaching the communities in North Hill that are the immigrant communities up there, migrants, and we'll see how many people we can reach. We did hit that area pretty good last grant.
Okay. The other comment I have, and I'm assuming that we have partners that we work with.
We're going to be partnering, yes. We'll be partnering with some agencies.
And Nazareth?
Nazareth will probably be our major partner. They were in the last one. We anticipate they'll be our major partner.
Right, because they did a phenomenal job.
76 units.
76?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We did 290. They did 76. Rebuilding together, I believe, did 9. The other agency didn't do any, so we won't partner with them again.
All right. Okay, we just need to find out what they're doing, because that's absolutely fantastic results for such a small organization.
Right.
Are there other questions or comments? Councilwoman Sims.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I always appreciate, I sat down with, I think, both of you, and you gave me a thorough understanding of the program, so I appreciate that. But in regards to encapsulation, what's the percentage of encapsulation do we do versus complete removal?
That's all based on each individual home. It's going to be based on budget more so than practical use. You know, the average is about $15,000 per homes, and we offer $14,000 in grants, so we're a little short beginning right off the bat. But we try to, you know, we provide deferred loans and things to homeowners for that. So it just depends where they're at. I mean, if they're all gung-ho and we want to do all this with more, if they're more reserved and they don't want to spend any additional money, they want to stay as low as they can, we have to stay with what the homeowner requests, so that would be doing a little more of the interim controls type things. It's just, if you want to rough off the hip, I'd say about 30% interim controls, the remainder 70% probably the abatement, the more permanent solutions.
Madam Chair, just a follow-up question. Sure. So the home dollars, are those not able to be used to
Home funds cannot be used.
Home fund, they can't be used
Cannot.
to, when it's,
Home funds can only be used when you're doing total gut rehab. And by and large, we utilize a partnership with either community development block grant funds, the healthy home funds that are allowed.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say home, the healthy home funds, that's the funds I was referring to. Okay. The 600 and whatever, 100,000 odd dollars that you have, instead of having a family take out even a low interest loan.
Could we use those?
Could you use those dollars?
Typically, they're not meant for lead funds. You receive lead funds, and the healthy homes are separate, and those usually take care of items that are non-lead. Mold is a real big one that we use. Radon gas is another one we find. We sometimes even do a leaking roof with those. So even though we have a roofing program, we try to get them in those. So we try to use combinations of what we can, what's available, but typically healthy homes are not used for lead activities.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions, concerns? Okay. What do you need for us to do? Is it?
We're just asking that the legislation we're putting out, it recognizes the week of lead poisoning awareness week. It's going to be part of our kickoff of the lead program that's there. Just letting people know that they just need to go out and get the facts, get their children tested, get their homes tested. That's the message.
So I think it sounds like you're asking us to pass it with suspension of the rules, because we don't meet next week.
Yeah, and Eric, I think it's October, beginning
October 20th.
So we need to do it tonight.
So motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
And suspension of the, did you say suspension of the rules? Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. I'd like to have my name added to this, Mr. Keith.
Okay.
Anybody else? Mr. Mikovich? Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Taylor, can you stick around for a minute? Or you need, I need to talk with you after this. Thank you very much. The next item we have is item number 9, ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to accept and expend funding from the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company Better Future Grant and declaring an emergency. And I believe we have Director Rice and Mrs. Myra Snipes. Myra, what's your official title? Is that all you're doing?
Diversity Training Manager.
Is that you sure that's the only title you have?
Many hats.
Okay.
Like everyone in human resources, we wear many hats.
Just teasing. I know she has. I thought she had another title as well. So I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, this the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Better Future Grant provides a primary source of funding for our Mayor's Youth Leadership Council. The Mayor's Youth Leadership Council has had a great year. If you'd like to talk about some of the, we can go into some of the things that we've done over the past year, but we need the passage of this legislation so that we can continue the good work that the Mayor's Youth Leadership Council is doing.
Very good. Would you like to tell us more about what you are doing?
Yeah, the Mayor Youth Leadership Council, we had a collaboration with the University of Akron, June of this year, Learn to Lead. Over 100 students signed up for that. From that, we've had several new orientation, accepting new members. We rebranded the program to, as Mr. Rice stated, Mayor Youth Leadership Council, or better known as MyLC. We also, over 670 people have been trained financial literacy. 25 students have actually trained throughout the city of Akron their peers on financial literacy. And as a result of that, we were able to give a $1,000 scholarship and a $500 scholarship through this program. So we're doing some exciting things. Lastly, with the Mayor Youth Leadership Council, we will mirror the council, and they will begin participating in the fall, where they will be on a different subcommittees that mirrors the council. You'll hear more about that in the future.
Very good. Are there questions or comments? Councilwoman Sims.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'm looking at the third whereas. Can you kind of explain those? So whereas the funds will allow the Mayor's Youth Leadership Council to continue to fill unmet need for in and out of school civic activities and service learning opportunities for middle and high school students residing in Greater Akron.
Yes, I'd be happy to answer that question.
Thank you.
That's one of the main goals of the new MyLC is to basically go back and help these kids and teach these kids civics, okay? How government works, why government is important, those sorts of activities.
Okay. So the $25,000 is not necessarily for the group itself, because that is comprised of how many students?
It is primarily, it funds the Mayor's Youth Leadership Council. Part of that comes out of the payment for the program coordinator and some of the youth activities. We have over 200 people that are part of it. One thing that's unique about the Leadership Council, you can be on several committees. You can be on the basketball team, you can be a cheerleader. So we realize the students may participate different seasons. One thing that we're implementing is virtual meetings to meet the needs of our students. These students multitask, and in person may not be the traditional way. We're looking to expand that by having virtual meetings with our students.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But is there a core to the council? Like, so is there is this like a almost a closely associated with the work Willa Keith used to do?
Well, one thing was the program was rebranded. It's no longer Akron Peacemaker Mayor Youth Leadership Council. So yes, some of the people we've also added to the program. For example, students who have participated X amount of volunteer hours will be eligible for a paid internship. So
Yeah,
that's something new that's different. As I mentioned, teaching the students skills such as creating a webinar, being able to do what we call a SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, that analysis. They will, and like I said, hear more about it. They will be able to present in the future a project, youth-led, from the eyes of the youth.
So I really like it. I really like the idea. I like the idea of students having an opportunity to be exposed to how committees work. One of my favorite cartoons growing up was, the Jailhouse Rock? I'm just the bill. Yes, the moment. Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock, Jailhouse Rock. Well, Jailhouse used to rock, but anyway, Schoolhouse Rock. I'm doing that whole piece. But here's my question, and maybe I'm not saying it. So as a council, there's 13 members, right? And so as your youth council, is there a core membership to your youth council? And so I'm just
Yes, we do have a core membership.
So how many members are in the core membership?
Currently, we have 70 students. We have 70 students that have actively are part of this council. Now, as far as I understand what you're saying, 13 core, still work in progress how that works, and we are initiating that, and we will be asking the support of our council members, because for an example, the safety chair, we want the safety chair to be a part, that mirrors what the council has. So that's the conversation. I want to follow up with the council president.
But I understand where you're coming I think I understand where you're coming from, Councilwoman. We are building, one of our goals for 2019 is to build on that base, to build on the base what was formerly the Akron Peacemakers, build on it, get more students involved in this. And I think by expanding the activities and to just basically to market the program effectively, we'll get a lot more students involved in this. The core group has risen in the 3 or 4 or 5 months, well, actually it's been about a year since we've rebanded, and one of our major goals is to expand the membership of the MyLC, throughout the city.
So this replaces the Peacemakers?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? And
I don't
you-
think I really heard the answer to my question, but and I
Please
know
ask
it's
it
going to
again,
work
ma'am.
all the way. I know it's going to work out. I like the whole idea, and I like the opportunity that it's not an exclusive group, but you intend to be inclusive.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, but even in the inclusivity, it just seems like there's at least something, the remnants of a core. So the coordinator at least knows what they're managing. And so I was interested in knowing what that looked like. When you say 70, I felt overwhelmed by 70 people, young folks, as a core of but you all know what you're doing.
But
I like the whole entire concept. I certainly like really giving them real life experience and exposures that will help them better understand how this thing really works, so that they can have the tools that they need to.
I think that core number of 70, if we could, we'd increase it to 500.
500.
Okay, but I guess what the main message that we're giving is that we don't expect all 500 people to be involved in any one particular activity. We're just, giving them a number of different things that they could do through MyLC, and to, for the kids to take part in, to get in where they fit in.
Okay, so to that end, because with 500 people, I mean, I know people who have memberships, the things that they never come to, but if you see their Vita, it's on there. So is the intent that with the 500 people that they are engaged for at minimum, a set amount of hours or quarters, or is that the thinking?
Right now, as Mr. Rice stated, a set number of hours. Yes, there is a set number of hours to get the internship. That's a yes to that. No, right now, a set number of hours to be on a particular committee. That's why we're expanding it to have virtual meetings. So let's say, for example, if the topic is financial on the finance committee, what we will set up is that we will brainstorm what are the ideas that the student may want, and then expand upon coming to a consensus on what they may want to present in the future to council or to the mayor. So that's what we're looking at, to be determined, because it's, like I said, a new brand, but we're still brainstorming with the program coordinator, exactly how that will look like.
Thank you.
And you would like for us to suspend the rules?
Yes, we would. Thank you.
Okay. May I have a motion? Okay. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. So we'll be presenting this evening. And thank you so much. Is there anything else to come before the committee? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.